Welcome to the Lodge. You've accessed
The Lodgecast Experience.
warning, warning, dangerous spoilers ahead. Enjoy.
Hello, once again, welcome to Lockdown Hot Takes. I'm your Lodge Master. With me, as always, is Brother Bierschke,
Infinite lockdown loop.
Brother Lucas, on this hot take,
Oh, the humanity.
and fan favorite, Lodge royalty, a queen of all queens. It's Sister Emily. What's up, Emily?
Ooh, Emily.
Not much. First hot take.
This is your first hot take? Whoa, welcome. It's an illustrious film to do this on. This is, I think, currently the number one Hulu movie.
I guess they base the popularity of a streaming show off hashtags and social media mentions. So like that is
man.
like what
Really?
I guess constitutes
Questionable.
like a hit.
That can't be right.
But I will say
that's the world we're living in.
But I will say there's some credence to how Palm Springs is like Hulu's biggest title, because I noticed, I think it dropped on Friday of last week, because all weekend I was getting texts from my BFF and from other people that I know, like in the film community, that were asking my opinion. And I was like, Jesus, like I haven't even watched it yet. Like
You're in demand.
I
The
know.
boy's in demand.
everyone wants to like know if it is as good as they think it is.
They need you to shit on it. So, Emily, how excited were you for Palm Springs? You're a woman who's been to Palm Springs a few times.
I have been to Palm Springs. I've been to Andy Samberg a few times, and I was pretty excited. And I was very, very excited that this was already popular movie for it being good, as opposed to all the other movies that I've been invited to be part of the Lodge cast for.
Ooh,
Yeah,
the Happy Time
yeah.
Murders was a particularly painful one.
I missed that.
That was
one.
a painful debut.
Yeah.
So you were primed and ready. I think anybody, the target audience is basically us, people who have been to Palm Springs multiple times, oftentimes for weddings, and just like chilling out by the pool. You probably have some sort of function, some sort of obligation you have to be there for, but sometimes you don't. And this movie encompasses all of that. I think it's safe to say that there are twists and turns in this film. So if you plan on seeing this movie, I don't know why you would listen to us before you watch it, because we're gonna spoil all that. So
Dangerous spoilers.
we'll give you a 1, 2, 3 count. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now you're in our world. This is a Groundhog Day scenario, and it's a time loop. It's one of those movies. Brother Zach, in his special way, he saw this movie and he texted me and he's like, "Have you seen Palm Springs yet?" And I responded, no, stop. That was what I responded. I said, "You always find a way to get in some sort of spoiler." And he's like, "No, I'm not getting in any spoiler. I don't do that. I just wanted to ask you, is Groundhog Day now a genre?" And I'm like, "Zach, that in itself is a spoiler.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man?"
Well, the trailer, I was already like, this is Groundhog Day, but it's a proven formula, so
But I didn't watch the trailer.
Oh, you
I
didn't watch
watch
it?
the
Okay.
trailer.
Yeah.
I didn't technically know anything. I knew something was going to be up with something.
The premise was, kind of revealed to me almost like a year ago when it premiered at Sundance, because when I was reading about it, everyone kept name dropping Groundhog Day. And the joke is they sold the movie to Neon. Neon was the original theatrical distributor that did the movie Parasite. They were going to release it theatrically, and then of course COVID happened, so Hulu got the rest of it. But
Pulled up quick to retrieve it.
But I think it's the highest selling movie at Sundance. It was 17.5 million and 69 cents.
Nice. Well, it comes down to the same deal as King of Staten Island with Pete Davidson. It's all about how you feel about Andy Samberg and
Yes.
what your tolerance is of him.
Yes.
And your acceptance level of him as a leading man.
Yes.
And Emily, you were already there. Arms wide open. You were ready.
I guess to an extent, I totally understand that he's a fixed audience. I don't think that my dad would maybe enjoy his shtick. A little bit of like a smugness, like he's kind of in on the joke. That transcends to humor and funny to me. I mean, I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I can just see it easily being a male lead because he kind of just, your eyes just follow him.
I'm right there with you too. I am extremely charmed by Mr. Sandberg. How do you boys feel?
Definitely better than Pete. Definitely better than Pete Davidson. I know him from the Lonely Island music videos. I have not seen Pop Star Never Popping or whatever that one is, or
Pop
Hot
Star
Rod.
Never Stop, Never Stopping.
But I kind of want to see that now because I've heard it's pretty good. Or Hot Rod, I've not seen. But
Hot
so
Rod's
this is
nice,
this is
too.
my first feature film with him, and I haven't really seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So this was kind of introduction.
I think I'd have to prefer Pete Davidson as an actor over
no,
Andy
no.
Samberg because
Gross.
I haven't seen Andy Samberg in anything except Saturday Night Live, and I thought he was the weakest link in it. It was like hard to take him seriously as a leading man because he's so broad. He's like so playing for the back row, but I give him mad props and respect.
I love Emily's face right now.
because I'm pretty sure
Disgust.
Andy Samberg created the very first like viral video. And it was way back in the day when he was on SNL and he did this digital short called Lazy Sunday, which was like a music video with him and Chris Parnell.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I think that video dropped, or that episode of SNL dropped like the same month YouTube was launched. So
That's a nice combo.
So people were sharing the Lazy Sunday digital short on YouTube to promote it or to like get it around.
Well, let's talk about this fucking movie.
Yes.
So he's in Palm Springs. He's there for his girlfriend's best friend's wedding. And he keeps living the same day over and over again. So when we catch up with him, he's already full-fledged. He knows every little nuance of the day. And there's kind of a brava sequence where he's dancing through the reception and he just knows where everybody's going to be. He knows to push a chair under a drunk guy who's about to fall over. And he's doing this all to impress the bride's sister, who becomes the love interest in the film. And she is Kristen Milioti, who
Yes.
I knew from the Fargo TV series, who was very good in that. And I thought she was really good in this, personally.
Yeah, I thought
What
she
did
was.
you guys think?
I thought she was the highlight, basically. I mean, Andy Samberg, was functional. I thought in terms of, but
Functionally humorous.
I thought she was good, but
I thought she was the heart of it.
I felt they were like brother and sister, though. I would have cast somebody a little more physically different in terms of the contrast because, like, I don't know, they just seemed they were too similar in like, I don't know, physique or something. It was weird for me.
I really liked her. She had such an interesting look, and she also just captured a certain element of sadness and darkness that helped with the big reveal later on in the movie that she was sleeping with her sister's, I guess, groom.
There's a lot of little reveals, and I watched this with the Lodge Mistress, and every time there was a twist, I turned to her and I'm like, did you see that coming? And she was like, yes, of course I saw that coming.
Yeah.
But tellingly, she didn't see the first twist coming. She didn't see the time loop coming. And she's like, did you know this was Groundhog's Day? And I was like, sort of. So that just proves that it is a surprise if you don't know what you're getting into.
It certainly was for me. I didn't see a preview. I didn't know what I was watching. I was all down for an Andy Samberg Palm Springs wedding, heist.
Nice.
Heist. They steal the wedding cake.
I like how quickly it dives in. We got Peter Gallagher there. Like, you can tell the script.
Love having
the script
Peter
is going
Gallagher
places.
on hand.
Yeah.
The running time was sweet. It was like 89 minutes, which is pretty amazing. So I appreciated its fast pace and that like everything was happening at a steady clip.
And it does throw us into the fun and games of being in a time loop pretty quickly. Like we see, that Samberg he's been there and done that, but he's showing her this new world. So we get to kind of see it through her eyes. And that is kind of the main twist from Groundhog's Day, is that now it's two people and in actuality 3 people that are experiencing this loop, because J.K. Simmons is out hunting Samberg because he accidentally got thrown into the loop and he's pissed, which is a pretty interesting side plot.
And hunting him with a bow and arrow, which is oddly specific, right?
Yeah, so he's popping up as kind of the T-1000 character throughout. And, you know, we've been punished with runtimes lately, and it is nice to have a short runtime, but that's where I feel like this movie could have dug deeper. Like, I feel like everything was pretty surface. Like, nothing went beyond the realm of cute for me. Like, this is a cute movie, and I kind of have to put it in the zone of a laundry folding movie. Like, it's a great laundry folding movie, you know? Like, it doesn't demand that much of you, but I wish that it did. Whenever it threatens to go deeper, it stays at this kind of safe distance, which, I don't know. It feels like in a world where all of these people that made this movie were raised on Groundhog Day, they'd want to push it forward rather than kind of just stay in the same milieu.
It would have been so nice to see when Andy Samberg's character described all the things that he did to try to get out of it or test it, including flying to Papua New Guinea. I think I would have liked to have seen that drawn out more, even, you know, just as
but the budget wasn't there too.
Yeah, this to me was a student feature because it was so. It was
student feature certified.
Yes.
Ooh, student feature certified.
I was just appalled at how cheap the whole thing looks. And like the visual effects were like 1998 After Effects quality. And like the poor man's process of driving at night, you know, when he gets the flat tire, and like there's so many things where I was just like, oh my God, they must have shot this for like $200,000. Like, that's what it felt like. You know, everyone deferred their salaries. J.K. Simmons deferred his salary. And then the irony is they sell it for like $20 million and everyone gets rich, you know, paid.
I mean, it's definitely a low budget movie, but within, like, the lower your budget, the more ambitious you have to be with the script, I feel. Like, even in a comedy, you can push things forward, you know? And I just don't feel like it got there, but maybe it didn't want to go there. And I'm trying to put a square peg in a round hole here.
Yeah, I wish it had more of a budget, because I just feel like there's so much more they could do with it. And since they didn't have the budget, then you're right. It needs like better, you know, audition scenes or monologues or dialogue, or a better, stronger actor than Andy Samberg, who, come on, let's face it, is great as an improv actor, but as a leading man in a feature film.
I don't know. It got me thinking, even though it doesn't dive deep into philosophy, I felt it could be shown at like a philosophy 101 class maybe or something, but it
deeply 101, deeply
existential 101, but it's also timely because we're living in a loop kind of now. I mean, as long as you're locked down like we are, then you're living in kind of an infinite time loop right now, and you're asking some of these existential 101 questions. And so I thought it went deep enough for 90 minutes.
I wrote that down too. His explanation of the time loop did remind me of this COVID era. Hopefully it's just an era, but he's like, you know, he really found peace when he learned to stop trying to make sense of everything and just make peace with the fact that nothing really matters anymore, you know, which is a dark way to look at life right now. But we've all woken up in the middle of these weeks that just turn into months, and we're like, what even is life right now? You know?
Yeah, what's time?
Yeah, what's time? Time doesn't exist.
And I thought J.K. Simmons had the key line of the movie, like, you got to find your Irvine. So you got to find
your Irvine.
And that was lifted wholesale from Wes Anderson's Rushmore. She's my Rushmore, Max.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but within this movie.
Okay.
And what it means is that he finally stops hunting Andy Samberg. J.K. Simmons lives in Irvine in this movie, and he just stays in Irvine and hangs out with his family. And he
accepts the time loop that he's in, and just realizes it's a happy day, and I just have to keep living my life like this, or I'm going to go insane with pain.
Right. Another thing that kind of follows in the steps of Groundhog Day, I felt, was we understand the premise. Then there's a bunch of fun and games when he's killing himself over and over, getting into trouble, getting into hijinks. And then once the love story kicks in, the comedy kind of drops off or tapers off or falls off a cliff, however you want to see it. Emily, what did you think? Are you don't agree with that?
It's all fun and games, but then when the love starts to grow or the pain is real.
But you can still be funny. You can still be funny, I feel. And this movie feels like it chose one track for a while at least before it brought everything back together.
I like a romantic comedy and I like highs and lows. So
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
But I felt the same way, Lodge Master. I felt like I loved the first hour a lot more than the second half. And I felt, yeah, it definitely stops in its tracks when it has those audition scenes where they start to get to know one another. And it's like, oh, here we go.
Well, and I feel like they do a lot of it when they're taking a mushroom trip. So it's like kind of built into mushrooms that it's kind of slows way down and he's just like pondering. And it's just, for me, the comedy fell off there. But there is a nice scene where they hallucinate that some rocks become dinosaurs and they're walking around. I guess you fall in love when you see that. So I
we
get
see
that,
the
but
dinosaurs at the end. So what does that mean?
you do see the dinosaurs at the end. So maybe it means life is but a dream. You know? Like,
Yeah, I wanted
nothing is real.
to address the dinosaurs at the end because I know that in Palm Springs, when you drive on the 10 freeway when you're headed east, there's this like dinosaur exhibit with like a giant dinosaur statue.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah,
Pee-wee.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure has a scene at the end there, but like I didn't understand if that was what it was referencing or if they were alive. Like I was just like, I don't know what's going on now.
I thought it was a glitch in time. And that it showed she tried to beat it by, going into the cave and blowing themselves up at that exact right moment. And they thought they were in the clear, but really there's still something wacky. They're not back in the regular world.
Something's still up.
Yeah, I think that would have landed harder if they were closer to the foreground because they were so distant because of the budget and the lack of effects. I was like, is that a tourist?
Or they just didn't want that to be the point, and they wanted some astute observers to see them in the distance.
But you know what's crazy? If you hadn't brought it up just now, I would have completely forgotten it. Like it was erased from my mind. And I watched it last night, so go figure.
My big qualm with this, and again, I think this movie's cute.
it's heartwarming.
It's heartwarming, and it there's plenty of smiles and giggles to be had. But when they bust out the Kate Bush music cue at the end, when they're about to try to blow themselves out of this time loop, I get a little upset at that. I feel like I'm a little protective of Kate Bush music usage in popular culture. And the way that they butchered her song.
What are you talking about?
Did you hear the way they cut it up so
Oh.
that it hit just at all the points that they wanted from the song? They disregarded the verse, they disregarded the build up, and they just went straight to the no, you can't. No, I do not accept that.
Okay,
And that's a
okay.
personal qualm of
That's
mine.
something a commercial would do.
Exactly, Emily. And I found it to be very distasteful.
I don't know.
If
I
you're
thought it was a
gonna-
good music drop. They also dropped Genesis is the Brazilian when she's studying astrophysics or whatever.
That
And-
was much more impactful for me. But
Yeah.
for Kate Bush, I have personal reasons why you don't mess with the integrity there.
okay. Play the full song or nothing at all.
Borderline criminal.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Like, I feel like you got to earn your music supervision. And
You gotta
your,
earn
and your
it.
needle,
You gotta
and your
earn it.
needle drops. And like, I felt like you're trying to like have your cake and eat it too. And it's like, dude, come on. That'd be like if Groundhog Day had like a Bob Dylan song or something. You know what I mean? It's
Or
just like
Adagio for strings. Yeah, you don't overreach. Don't overreach,
yeah,
guys.
no, it's
Like,
the wrong
know
genre.
what you
It's
are.
the wrong genre. Yeah, because here's what's interesting. Off the Kate Bush song sound cue topic, I think I read a headline, clickbait headline, which I didn't click on, but it was like Andy Samberg says that his initial idea was to make Leaving Las Vegas in Palm Springs.
Right.
and then it slowly turns.
It was the writer of the movie that said that it was supposed to be a lot darker.
So then I see the Kate Bush. I'm like, oh, okay. If you're doing that version, then you can have that, but not. I mean, look, if we're watching this version, you need Smash Mouth or something.
And there's almost that point where you see Emily shaking her head. She does not like the Smash Mouth cue. But I got to stop trying to shove it into this deeper picture.
Yeah, you really should take it back a notch and just enjoy it like a summer song or like a beach read.
Yes.
And just say, hey, that was a fun hour and a half of my life. It kind of had some science in it, so I wasn't completely like brain dead the whole time.
I'm with Emily. This went down easy. I think you guys are having too many reservations. Like, just enjoy the rom-com.
Something that I thought that was interesting, that was just a fine like moment, just really quick. And I think maybe she showed up again, was the older lady. The grandma, the woman from About Schmidt, that she comes and she says that she's been to many weddings. What's her name? Jeannie Swift?
June Squibb.
Squibb. That's a great name. She says that she's been to many weddings, and she says that you got to be going now. She knows she's an example of a looper that's accepted this life and is super happy and peaceful. And it kind of made me think, how many other loopers are here? So I actually don't think it was as surface as I think you guys thought it was.
I thought that was a great moment too, but to me, it just hinted at a deeper movie, which is fine. Like it gets to be fun, but it gets to hint at something deeper. I'm on your side. I'm just cranky about it. Let's go to damn Palm Springs Bound. All right. I think I can map where the love and light is in this crew. So we're going to stagger it a little bit. Sister Emily, let's just continue on with you. What do you got here?
Listen, it was a fun hour and a half ride. I like Andy Samberg. I thought he was charming. I also liked the lead woman. I thought that she was very interesting, even though I don't think I've seen her in anything before. And I think that it was an interesting story. It could have gone deeper. It could have been a mini series, and I probably would have watched it all the way through.
Sure.
I will say that it is 3 bones.
3 bones from Sister Emily. That sounds about right. Brother Lucas, lay waste to the desert.
Yeah, no, I love Groundhog Day. I love Palm Springs.
You love Palm Springs, the vacation destination.
Yeah, the geographic area. I've been to a wedding in Palm Springs. I've been to a wedding in Joshua Tree. I've been to a wedding like in all kinds of desert scenarios. So this spoke to me. I related to this a lot. And I even dated a girl who went to Palm Springs for her own wedding and floated in a pool on a pizza slice inflatable. So that was like the simulation, just like pissing in my face, I guess. But this is definitely like a 2-bone movie if I've ever seen one. However, the first half, like those first like 30, 45, 60 minutes, it's like there's so many jokes that are flying so fast that I was laughing more consistently out loud than I have in a long time. So for those extra laughs, I have to give it a full extra bone. So I have to go with Sister Emily. This is a 3-bone movie that I can tell my family to check out. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. I'm glad when we match.
And on the family front, I just have to add that, it does say at the beginning, this is intended for mature audiences only. And I feel like people just glaze over that at this point. Like mom, dad, kids gather around the telly. We got the Lonely Island guy in a movie. We're going to watch it together. They're not even going to look at that rating suggestion. And then within 1 minute of screen time, Andy Samberg is masturbating.
Correct.
This is the highest streamed movie on Hulu, and families are just jumping in this together. And I love that. All sorts of flustered dads muting and jumping in front of the TV. It's great. Anyway, Brother Bishke, what do you got here? I feel like you're going to go big.
Yeah, well, I'm loving light all the way. I think, I saw the trailer, so I was like, this is Groundhog Day all over again. But you know what? It's a proven formula to explore a lot of things. I think you
yeah,
get
there's a
Live,
movie
Die,
called
Repeat.
Time Crimes, which is also very good.
Or Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. You know, you do. There's a lot you can do when you get into this repetition.
Happy Death Day,
right.
Happy Death Day 2.
Yeah.
Happy Death Day to You was the official title.
Yeah, so there's plenty to explore in this genre that Zach has defined of Groundhog Day.
Which is why I feel it's really two bones, because if you don't like the Groundhog Day aesthetic, you're fucking dead in the water.
Bishki, feel free to continue with your bone count.
No, it's 90 minutes. I didn't think it was student feature. I thought it was well directed. I mean, I think the CG, some of the effects were student feature, but that's probably more budgetary. But I thought it was well written, well acted. I thought Christine Milioti was kind of the heart of it. I really enjoyed her performance. I had never seen her before, so I can't say I laughed a ton. I think I think it's probably more on the romantic side than the comedy side. But it's a 3-bone rom-com in my terms. We got three bones, Lodge Master. What are you gonna do?
That's right. That's right. Hey, listen, I got a lot of problems with it, you know, but sometimes I complain the most when a movie is almost ascending to another level, you know? Whereas if I didn't have any expectations, or if something didn't give me reason to have any grand expectations, you know, I might seem like I'm rooting for it more. But this movie was 3.5 bones for me for a good long stretch of it. I thought it was well directed, very well edited. They knew all the cool moves to do with these time loop movies, and it was moving along great. It was crackling, and then Emily, by gum, it hit that romance, and I zone out a little bit, you know, because it just starts hitting beats that I've seen before. So if it had subverted that a little bit more, I probably would have been more into it. I probably would have kept that 3.5. But as it is, I got to bring it back down to 3. We're 3 across the board.
Oh,
for Palm
good.
Springs. 3.
Often does that happen?
That's very
That does
rare.
not happen. That does not happen.
3 wishes, 3 deaths, 3 Trinity.
That's exactly right, Lucas. And I am impressed with your love and light and your fortitude to push your bone count, your 2 bones, up to 3. I really
It was the
appreciate
laughs, man. There were so many good laughs. Like the scene where he's just weeping, and the guy that like was fucking him in an alternate reality is like, dude, what's wrong? And he's like, I'm in love with her. And he's like, but you don't even know her or something. It's like, I don't know. There were some great moments.
So can I
It's good
ask
stuff.
you guys, would you want to be in a loop?
I am.
We already are.
I don't think I'd want to leave that loop if it was Palm Springs at a wedding. I don't think I'd want to leave
I'd be
because
fine with that loop.
because some of the best sex I've ever had is in Palm Springs.
That's
Just enough info.
The Ace Hotel, ladies and gentlemen.
That's where I thought they could have just stayed in terms of the ending. I thought they could have stayed in the loop to not give it the Groundhog Day. Let's move it forward. Let's just stay in the loop and be happy. Find your Irvine.
Those dinosaurs were in the shot, so maybe they were still in the loop, but maybe a wider loop. Who knows?
I don't know. I thought
A
that
prehistoric loop.
to veer from the Groundhog Day, they should have stayed in the loop. But anyway, that was just one possible.
You wouldn't have to wear a mask if you were in the loop.
Yes.
True. On that cheery note, Sister Emily, anything more to add on the tale of Palm Springs?
No, I think I finished it. Thank you.
I think you got out of the loop. Thank you for coming on tonight and logging into Hulu for the cause.
Oh, you're very welcome. 7-day trials all around.
Nice. Love and light and lockdown loop forever.
Love and light.
Love and light.
Peace.